Good day everyone, and Group 2 is here to discuss Plato's concept about self. Before we start, who is Plato? Let's start on his real name. Plato's real name is Aristocles, which means best glory. He is from Athens, Greece, and he was born around 428 BCE and died at the age of 80 or 81 at 348 BCE. Plato is one of the world's best known and most widely read and studied philosopher. He was a student of Socrates and teacher of Aristotle, and he wrote in the middle of the 4th century BCE in ancient Greece. What is Plato known for? Plato's most famous work is The Republic, which details as a wise society run by a philosopher. He is also famous for his dialogues, which showcase his metaphysical theory of form something else he is well known for. Now, let's talk about Plato's concept about self. Plato's idea on the self is very simple yet complex. He has a different way of talking, which means that either tells you what he means or he contradicts himself. He starts off saying that the soul is the thing that causes things to be alive. But then, that I equals my soul, does that mean that I cause myself to be alive? That thought can be very contradicting and complicated to understand, but Plato, at least in many of his dialogues, held in the true self of a human being is the reason or the intellect that constitutes their soul, and that is separable from their body. The true self of the human person is the rational soul.
Another information of Plato's perspective on the self. Plato and Socrates both agree that the soul is equal to the self. Plato conceives of the self as a knower. Hence, for Plato, the concept of the self is practically constructed on the basis of his reflections of the nature of the rational soul as the highest form of recognition. According to Plato, the soul lives in the body, and when the body dies, the soul moves to another body. From what I understand, this is called reincarnation. Plato believes that there is life before birth. So we already have this knowledge within us. When we are born, we are actually more knowledgeable than adults. Although we have this knowledge, however, we are unaware of its presence. Education brings out the knowledge you already hold about the universe. We could never bring out all of the knowledge we have in our lifetime, which is why we are always learning.
The three parts of human soul. In Plato's view of the soul is divided into three parts. The purpose of Plato's tripartite soul is to act as reflection of the city, which he used to probe the concept of justice and question the best rulership of both a person and a city. In other words, a proper understanding of the tripartite soul ought to a better understanding of well-organized political system and a well-organized person. Even if only indirectly, Plato's concept of the soul has had considerable effect on modern psychology. Sigmund Freud's topographical model of the mind bears a resemblance to Plato's soul theory. The parts of Freud's model are the ID, ego, and the superego. Furthermore, Freud suggests that the soul of the city mirrors the soul of the individual person, suggesting another affinity with Plato's thought. According to Plato's theory, the soul consists of three parts: spirited soul, rational soul, and appetitive soul. There will be several virtues that will aid in pointing out how each component of the soul should be functioning. We have wisdom, temperance, courage, and also justice. Here's Miss Rachel to discuss the three parts of human soul.
Plato defined the soul as having three distinct elements: appetitive, spirited, and rational, which he said determine who we are and how we behave. Appetitive soul is in charge of one's own desires. It is connected to our pleasure, comfort, and carnal desires. The second element is a spirited soul. It is the one responsible of making decisions or the actions driven by emotions. According to him, it should be always kept in check because we shouldn't let too much emotions take over. The last is the rational soul, which he said is connected to logic and intellect. It is the one that enables us to think critically with wisdom and knowledge. Plato claims that when these three things work together, people are less likely to make wrong decisions because now we are able to think rationally.